They will call it magic. They will say it's coincidence. But you will know it is not magic. It is energy and vibration. You do not change your life by begging life to change. You change your life by changing the frequency of your being. The world outside is only an echo of the vibration within. If you shift the inner tone, the outer response must follow. You are energy. Your thoughts are electrical currents. Your feelings are magnetic fields. Together they form the vibration that summons reality to you, not by force, not by chance, but by law. Look around you. Every condition, every relationship, every opportunity, it is not the result of randomness. It is the mirror of what you have been vibrating. If you feel lack, you will meet lack. If you feel love, you will draw it. This is not imagination. It is creation. Now listen, the power does not come by wishing. It comes by embodying. You must dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. You must carry the energy of what you desire as though it were already yours. You do not wait for the thing to appear in order to feel it. You feel it in order for it to appear. That is the reversal the world does not understand. That is the truth behind the illusion. When you assume the frequency of the reality you desire, the unseen moves. The world rearranges itself to match your vibration. But if you stay in the vibration of doubt, fear, or lack, then no action can help you, for you are still misaligned with the very thing you seek. Imagination is not idle daydreaming. It is the realm where all realities begin. What you create in imagination and fill with emotion becomes the frequency you emit. And what you emit, you attract. It is not enough to say the words, you must feel them. You must become the energy of the desire. You must walk as though it is already so. And when you do, reality bends to meet you. So no, it's not magic, it's not luck, it's not destiny written in stars. It is the law of vibration. You become what you repeatedly feel, you attract what you continuously assume, you manifest what you unshakably believe, and that is the truth. Everything is energy. This is not philosophy, it is the foundation of all that exists. You may look around and see physical objects, walls, people, money, time, but behind the veil of form is pure vibration. The world you touch and taste and see is not solid at its core. It is energy condensed into patterns, shaped and sustained by unseen forces. And the most powerful force among them is thought. What you think is not a fleeting whisper in the air, it is a frequency, a wave of intention that goes forth, seeking form. Every consistent thought you entertain, every idea you give life to through repetition and emotion becomes a mold for your reality. The mind is the silent architect of your world, and thought is the blueprint from which all is built. There are no idle thoughts. Even when you believe you are merely imagining or daydreaming, you are emitting a signal. That signal calls out to the energy of the universe and says, "This is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I accept as true." And what you accept as true will take form. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but inevitably as the energy consolidates and condenses into matter. Most people live as though their outer conditions are carved in stone. They react to what they see, unaware that what they see was once a thought, a vibration they either entertained or allowed unconsciously. They do not realize they are the cause, not the effect. But you, if you are willing to awaken, must understand that your inner dialogue is far more than a mental monologue. It is a creative command. When you hold a thought with feeling, when you return to it daily, when you nourish it with belief, you are creating a vibrational template. The universe, responding not to words but to frequency, begins aligning people, circumstances, and timing to match that internal pattern. It is not magic and it is not luck, it is law. So the question is not whether you are creating, it is what you are creating. Are you thinking from the place of lack, fear, unworthiness? Then you are designing a life built on those energies. But if you think from the place of abundance, peace, love, and wholeness, you are building a future aligned with those vibrations. Your reality, whether filled with joy or sorrow, chaos or harmony, is never random. It is the echo of your sustained thoughts. Energy responds to the quality of your consciousness. The clearer and more focused your thought, the more precise the result. The more emotionally charged your belief, the faster the manifestation. Thoughts alone are powerful, but thoughts infused with feeling are unstoppable. So discipline your inner world. Guard it like sacred ground. What you dwell upon, you amplify. What you imagine, you invite. What you believe, you become. Your thoughts are not wishes floating in the wind. They are tools of creation, and your life is their masterpiece. Your inner state is the cause, the outer world is only the effect. Though it may appear that your life is being shaped by the things that happen to you, by people, by situations, by the hand you've been dealt, this is the great illusion. The truth is far more powerful and far more liberating. It is never the outside conditions that dictate your life. It is the vibration you dwell in that molds your external circumstances. You are not at the mercy of the world. You are not a victim of fate. What you feel consistently within yourself, what you accept as true in your own consciousness, will become the very fabric of the world you walk through. If you carry a vibration of peace, you will begin to see peace reflected back to you. If you carry a vibration of conflict or fear, your world will provide you endless mirrors of it. The law is impersonal, but it is exact. People often attempt to change their lives by rearranging the outer pieces. They switch jobs, leave relationships, move to new places. Yet the same patterns follow them. Why? Because nothing has changed within. The same vibration is being carried, and so the same kind of reality continues to show up. They believe the problem is out there, but the root has always been within. The world is not against you. It is simply reflecting you. Your assumptions, your emotions, your beliefs, these are not passive ideas floating in your head. They are the state of consciousness you are living in, and they determine what you will experience. When you shift your state, your world must shift with it. Not immediately, perhaps, but inevitably. The outer always conforms to the inner. That is law. If you want to change your life, you must stop looking at the facts of your current reality as the final word. Do not be hypnotized by what is. Instead, turn inward. Ask yourself, what am I dwelling in? What emotional home have I built for myself? Am I living in the vibration of lack or in the vibration of abundance? Do I carry the weight of rejection or the calm of self-worth? The answers to those questions are not abstract. They are the keys to your destiny. To dwell in a new state, you must feel it as if it were already yours. This is not about pretending. It is about choosing. Choose the feeling of what you desire and inhabit it fully. Walk in it mentally, speak from it, think from it, and most of all, feel it. The vibration you dwell in becomes the invitation you send to life. And life never declines a vibrational invitation. So do not wait for circumstances to change so you can feel better. Change how you feel now, and circumstances will begin to match it. The inner state is the seed, and the outer world is only the blossom. Nurture the seed, trust the process, and remember, your world begins within you. Feeling is the secret language of vibration. It is not enough to think. Thought without feeling is like a note with no sound. Your emotions are not random flickers of reaction. They are the signal you are constantly broadcasting to the universe. And that signal, that frequency, is what determines what returns to you. Every emotion you experience is a vibration, a living message sent out into the field of infinite possibilities. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are always transmitting. When you feel joy, you are on a frequency that aligns with more joy. When you feel fear or worry, you draw toward you circumstances that match that very vibration. The universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your energy, and feeling is energy in motion. This is why mere affirmations do not always work. You can say, "I am successful" 1,000 times, but if underneath those words you feel doubt, fear, or lack, the dominant vibration being broadcast is not success, but scarcity. The words may be beautiful, but the emotion behind them is what writes the true message. The universe hears what you feel, not what you say. Feeling is the bridge between thought and manifestation. When you impress a thought upon your mind and then ignite it with genuine emotion, real gratitude, real belief, real love, you are charging that thought with life. It is like striking a match. The more intense and pure the feeling, the brighter the flame and the faster it catches fire in the physical world. You must understand that feeling is not a byproduct of results, it is the generator of them. You do not wait to feel abundant once money arrives. You feel abundant before, and that feeling becomes the cause of the money. You do not wait to feel loved after someone loves you. You feel loved now, and that love attracts the reflection of itself. The stronger the feeling, the faster the reflection. This is why clarity and emotional alignment matter so much. When you feel something with your whole being, with no contradiction, no doubt, no double-mindedness, the response is swift. You have tuned your vibration so precisely that the universe cannot help but match it. But purity is essential. If your feelings are mixed, if you feel excited one moment and anxious the next, your vibration becomes inconsistent, and so does your reality. It is not punishment, it is precision. You are not being ignored, you are being responded to exactly, faithfully, in every moment. So choose your feelings consciously. Do not let them be dictated by what your eyes see. Train yourself to dwell in the feeling of what you desire, not just for moments, but as a state of being. Make it your emotional home, for the feeling is the prayer. The feeling is the offering. The feeling is the magnet. And the universe always echoes back what you feel as true. You are always manifesting, whether you realize it or not. Creation is not something that happens occasionally, under special circumstances or during specific rituals. It is the ongoing, ever-present activity of your consciousness. Every moment you are alive, you are broadcasting energy, and that energy is shaping the world around you. The only question is, are you doing it deliberately, or are you allowing the noise of the world to set your frequency? Most people move through life unaware of the power they possess. They react to circumstances, complain about outcomes, and live as though life is something that happens to them rather than through them. But the truth is, their reality is being molded by the energy they emit, by their dominant thoughts, beliefs, assumptions, and most importantly, their feelings. What they call fate or luck is merely the outpicturing of the state they dwell in, most often unconsciously. You cannot not manifest. There is no pause button on this process. Whether you are asleep or awake, hopeful or hopeless, aware or unaware, you are sending out a vibrational signal. That signal gathers to it like energy. People, events, opportunities, and outcomes that match it precisely. It is not personal. It is vibrational law. What you are experiencing now is the reflection of a past state. What you dwell in now is the seed of your future. The danger lies in unconscious living. When you don't take the reins of your focus, when you allow fear, worry, resentment, or doubt to take root unchecked, you unknowingly create more of the same. You become tuned into the noise, the chaotic energy of the world around you, and the broadcast you send becomes disjointed, scattered, reactive. In that state, manifestation is still happening, but it brings you confusion, delay, and undesired repetition. But when you begin to live consciously, everything changes. You recognize that your attention is your power, and you become intentional about where you place it. You start choosing your thoughts instead of recycling old ones. You begin to shift your emotional state deliberately, cultivating the feeling of your desired reality even before it appears. You no longer ask for permission from the outside world to feel joy, peace, or worth. You create those vibrations from within. To live consciously is to become the selector of your station. You no longer drift through channels of lack, doubt, and reaction. You tune your inner state to the frequency of what you desire, and you stay there long enough for the outer to catch up. You become a deliberate broadcaster of the reality you want to live. And the beauty of this truth is that it does not require effort, only awareness. You don't need to force, beg, or chase. You only need to tune in. Choose your station wisely. Choose it with clarity, consistency, and feeling. For whatever you are tuned into internally will eventually play on the screen of your life. Imagination is the gateway to reality. It is not a mere escape from the world. It is the creative womb from which all reality is born. What you vividly imagine and emotionally inhabit becomes the frequency you emit, and by law, what you emit is what you attract. Every form, every outcome, every so-called coincidence begins as an unseen image impressed upon the canvas of the mind. You do not receive what you want, you receive what you become in consciousness. Imagination is the first act of creation. Before anything takes form in the visible world, it exists in the invisible. When you imagine with feeling, with emotional clarity and belief, you are not daydreaming, you are aligning yourself with a vibrational pattern. You are sending out a signal so precise that reality begins to move in your favor to bring it forth. It may appear as luck, as timing, as opportunity, but these are only names given to the reflection of your inner state. There is no limit to what you can imagine, and therefore no limit to what you can create. But most people have handed over the power of their imagination to fear. They imagine worst-case scenarios, disappointments, delays, and rejection, and then they wonder why those very things appear in their lives. They are faithful imagers, but of the wrong vision. They do not realize that their imagination is not passive, it is a mold, and life always fills the mold you hold. To use imagination consciously is to accept your creative role. It is to close your eyes to what is and open your heart to what can be. You see yourself already possessing what you desire. You feel the reality of it as if it were here. You do not beg for it, you embody it. The more real it becomes in imagination, the more inevitable it becomes in manifestation. But imagination without emotion is like a seed with no soil. It may contain potential, but it will not grow. This is why feeling is essential. You must not only see the image, but feel the truth of it. When you imagine yourself in a life you love, and allow yourself to feel the joy, the confidence, the gratitude of that vision, you begin to emit a frequency that cannot be denied. The universe does not respond to fantasy, it responds to frequency. You are not pretending. You are creating. You are choosing to dwell in the unseen until it becomes the seen. And make no mistake, the world will conform. Circumstances, people, and events will rearrange themselves to mirror the state you have faithfully imagined. So when the outer world contradicts your vision, do not retreat. Return to your imagination. Revisit the vision. Feel it again. Walk in it mentally and emotionally. Let it become more real to you than the facts around you, for facts can change. But imagination is the source of change. All things are possible to the one who imagines and believes. Faith is frequency alignment. It is not blind hope nor desperate wishing. True faith is the silent inner knowing that what you desire is already real in the unseen realm, and that by aligning yourself with its frequency, it must inevitably appear in the seen. When you believe deeply, you're not reaching, you're tuning, you're matching the vibration of the thing long before it arrives, and in doing so, you draw it to you with certainty and ease. Faith is not something you muster from effort. It is not born of struggle. It is the natural byproduct of inner alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and assumptions all point toward the truth of your desire already being fulfilled, you are in faith. That is the tuning fork within you, humming in perfect harmony with the reality you want to experience. And that harmony sends out a frequency that reality cannot ignore. It must reflect what you are. There is no begging in faith. There is no anxiety or fear. If you still doubt, if you still question whether your desire will manifest, then you are not yet aligned. You are hoping from a place of separation. But faith is different. Faith says, it is already done. Faith says, it is mine now, not because you see it with your eyes, but because you have accepted it in your being. And once you have accepted it internally, the outer world must rearrange itself to match. Faith is not about convincing the universe. The universe needs no convincing. It is always responding, always reflecting. Faith is about convincing yourself, settling within you that your good is already yours. It's not on its way. It is, here and now, vibrationally present. The moment you enter the feeling of that truth and maintain it, you enter the timeline where that reality becomes visible. This is why those with strong faith appear calm even before anything changes. They are not waiting for evidence. They are the evidence. They carry the energy of what is already theirs, and that energy does the work for them. It magnetizes, attracts, and orchestrates every detail. Faith is the inner alignment that makes manifestation inevitable. It is the cause, not the effect. It is the substance of the thing hoped for, the proof of the unseen. It is the act of tuning to a reality and living as though it is already here. Not out of delusion, but out of spiritual accuracy. Because you know that everything exists now, and by choosing the state, you choose the outcome. Let go of the need to force. Let go of the timeline. Dwell in the energy of the wish fulfilled. That is the essence of faith. It does not strive, it abides. It does not chase, it becomes. And when you become the frequency of what you desire, you cannot be denied. Faith is not magic, it is precision. Faith is alignment, faith is power, faith is creation in motion. So now you see, this is not magic. It is energy and vibration. Every thought you dwell on, every feeling you nourish, every image you persist in believing, these are not idle moments. They are acts of creation. The world around you is not fixed, it is fluid, shaped and reshaped by the frequency you hold within. You are not at the mercy of chance. You are not bound by external conditions. You are the center of power, the sender and receiver of vibration. When you think with clarity, feel with intention, and imagine with conviction, you shift reality. You align not with hope, but with truth, the truth that all you seek already exists in the invisible, waiting for your signal to appear. Let your inner world become your priority. Choose thoughts that empower, dwell in feelings that uplift. Imagine not to escape life, but to give it shape. And above all, walk in faith, not as something fragile or fleeting, but as the frequency of your fulfilled desire. Thank you for opening your heart to this truth. Thank you for choosing to rise in awareness and for remembering who you truly are. Now go, not to wait, but to live as though it is already yours, because it is.